myself rich, happy black girl. Because I know what life is good for me. I get the pleasure of working with some really great people, helping them to learn to invest in the foreign exchange market. I tell people all the time about how I've helped people become millionaires. And that's some of the best work I've done. I'm so proud of it. I'm so proud of waking people up to their personal wealth and helping them to understand that, there's no pie that you have to get a slice of. There is unlimited supply, okay? And I want everybody to know that and hear that and feel that and receive that, okay? And so what I've done is I have gathered around me a bunch of people who share the same philosophy. Okay, not only do they understand their wealth, but they understand the wealth of others, and they want to draw that out of you and expose you to your own greatness. And so one of those people is my co-host, Douglas. Douglas.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you got some good information for us, okay? I'm tired of waiting. Don't hold back anymore, all right? I really want to know how these banks are getting this money. Share it with me.
Well, one thing I wanted to do today, I was going to do a Facebook Live before, but, too much stuff going on with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to record it and get you all to check it out on YouTube later. But if you go on the FDIC website, so what I did was I went on the FDIC because a lot of times, everyone have been programmed to basically believe that the bank is where you need to park your money in. And you hear, yeah. And you hear all these financial advisors send you to the bank, everybody, you have to put emergency money in your savings account and all that jazz that they talk about. So now, when I went to the FDIC website, the next thing you do, you go to where it says industry analysis. And then right there, there's some called bank data and statistics. So I'm going to pull that up, and then institutional directory. So when I click on that, it's going to bring up a bunch of information that you need, and then the next thing you do is just go to where it says institution name, and you type in the institution that you feel like checking out and seeing how much money they got. So the one I'm going to use is one that we know is nationwide, got American name on it, called the Bank of America. All of us know them, right? So I'm going to type in their name right here on the website. And again, folks, you could see this on my YouTube page when you get a moment. Later once I post it up there, but
so is it just Douglas? What's your YouTube page?
Yeah, it's Lago Financial or Douglas Eze. Once you put on, I'm gonna title it FDIC and banks, and then you'll be able to find it. So you go to the first one I'm gonna click on is a certificate that has their headquarters. So you see the total asset is like 1.6 trillion. They got some money. So we'll go in there and look. And then the next thing you do is I'm just going to generate report. So you're going to avoid, disregard a lot of the stuff and just generate report. Now, the funny thing, some of this information is actually on inside my book, Creating Generational Wealth, because I pulled it up and put it out there. So the first thing I want to look at is the assets. So this is 2016 and 2015. So there's two accounts in there. And total employees full-time in 2015 was 150,000 employees that they had. But in 2016, they shrink them down to 145,000. So they fired some people. But guess 1.67. So they made some profit that year. Right. Now, let's go back to the number 10. There's number 10 that talks at 10 and 11. Other real estate owned. So here's the kicker. So in 2015, they owned, and this is in thousands, so it's in billions. So $8.9 billion in real estate. In 2016, they offloaded some of their real estate investment to now they have 8.6 billion. Now, I say that because when I go down to the line number 41, which is my baby right there, which, I love, life insurance assets. Right. It says life insurance assets. So, you hear people tell you that life insurance is not a place to park your money. And they lie to people. But here, life insurance assets, Bank of America, $21 billion. That's 21.164 in 2015. In 2016, it went up to 21,476,000. So they increased their portfolio in life insurance holdings in 2016, while they reduced their portfolio in real estate holdings. So when you, and if you want to know more, then I click on 41 just to tell me what does that mean, life insurance asset, where it says the amount of the bank holdings of life insurance assets included are the cash surrender value of life insurance reported by the insurance carrier, less any applicable surrender charges not reflected by the carrier in this reported value on all forms of permanent life. It doesn't say term insurance. It says permanent life insurance policies owned by the bank.
So what's the cash surrender value? What does that mean?
So that's the cash. That's the money that you could borrow against. So what happens is this: when you have money inside your life insurance policy, so there's two columns. One column is what they call your accumulated value. That's the money that you, now it depends on the type. Of course, we have whole life and we also have UL. Universal life. So cash surrender value is your money that you could borrow against. Now, if you notice, I say the word against, because if you have $100,000 cash value, that's the money you could take out from your policy, but you're not taking it out. That's the misconception. People think you're pulling money out. No, you're not doing that. What you're actually doing is you're using the insurance company's money. So if I want to take out $20,000 to buy a car, I go to the insurance company and I say, I need $20,000. Then the insurance company says, okay, sure. We'll keep your $100,000 in here, earning uninterrupted compounding interest of 4% or 5%, depending on the company. And then we'll give you $20,000 from our pocket, from the insurance company pocket. Now, some of them might charge you 4%, some might charge 7%, some might charge 8%. But you know what? So what? So what? The bank charge you 18%. Why you ain't upset with them? So yeah, I'll take the money and keep my 100 grand making 4% every day, compounding, making me money. But you know, then you get people come on TV or on YouTube. You know, I know a particular guy that goes around in churches and tell church folk buy term and invest the difference. You know. Okay,
so okay, help us out, help the listeners out.
Yes.
What is term? Tell us the difference.
So term is like you're renting an apartment. You know how you rent a house? You have to rent an apartment. Yeah. So it's like you're renting. You know, how come? So that's what term is. You're just gonna pay for a temporary period for 10 years, 15, 20, or 30 years. Which there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay, because if you can afford to buy a house, guess what you're gonna do? You're going to rent. So you still need coverage to protect your family. Very, very important. You know, but permanent insurance is the one that you say, you know what? I'm going to build some equity, just like a house. The only difference is they don't have to, when you take the equity out, you don't have to beg the bank to take equity out. You could pull money out from your cash value anytime you want it.
So listen, you know what was exciting to me? You were explaining to me how like the payments are unstructured. So okay, so
yes.
I pulled some money. Tell me, give me a scenario. I went and bought a car, pulled some money from my life insurance policy, and how does that unfold for me with the unstructured payment? So
that means this. So unstructured payment means I don't have to pay back until when I'm ready, because the insurance company know one day, you know what, you're gonna die. The day you die, we'll get our money. So we don't have to stress you out. We don't have to pressure you. We don't have to call Equifax and TransUnion and Experian and tell them all about your business. We don't care. We're good. Just keep paying your premium. Whenever you're ready, pay us. If you don't want to pay us, it's up to you. The day you die, we just subtract the money from the amount and give the rest to your family, tax-free.
Wow.
You know, so what I do is I say, you know what, it's your bank. You don't want to keep taking money out of your bank and don't put it back in. Put the money back in. Guess what? When you put it back in, it gives you freedom to get more in the future. Because when an opportunity comes along that you need money to invest in, you could borrow against it and invest in that opportunity quickly.
Wow. So this has been going on under our noses. People have been, using their life insurance policy in this really innovative way. I didn't know about this. And Douglas, what brought this to light for you?
Well, you know what? Two things. When I started researching all these wealthy people, especially my good friend James Cash Penny, because in 1923, when the stock market crashed, he had a $3 million life insurance policy, and he was able to pull cash out of it, just like I just described, and he took the money to save his company, to continue to buy retail clothes and do everything he needed to do to save his company. If he didn't have that money in the life insurance policy, he would have lost everything. We wouldn't have known about James Cash Penny, at all. And there's so many examples. And then when I, was talking to a client, young guy, he was 35 years old. We're in the same church. And, I was an usher. So right after church, my next question was, hey, great service, right? Yeah. Man, who you got your life insurance with? I was 28 years old, and
Always be closing, right?
hey, I had to, we got a word now we need to protect. So he was like, man, Douglas, okay, come on, come sit down with me. I got a policy already that my parents did for me years ago when I was a baby. I said, oh, sure, let me take a look at it. He brought it out. His parents were putting away $350 a month for him from when he was a baby. He's 35 years old. He had over $500,000 in the policy.
Wow.
That was my,
You talked about that on the last show.
yeah,
Very interesting.
that was a game changer. Even though I'm like, man, I was able to use the money from his policy to help him structure, because now he has a wife and he has 2 kids. We pulled the $500,000 out and did some things and reinvested the money back into some more insurance, which would give him more coverage for himself, more coverage, and repeated the same thing his parents did for his kids. That's the kind of thing insurance does. And in the end, he bought some real estate too. Very powerful.
Yeah,
So
that is really powerful. Douglas, man, thank you for sharing that. I don't think that people think about, all of these different financial vehicles.